Very good morning to you. It is 7 a.m. on Tuesday, November 11th, 11/11. That is Veterans Day, and a good morning to you. Welcome to ONNJ Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. We'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. Happy Veterans Day to our veterans. You deserve all the praise in the world, and thank you for your service. Maybe a peak of sun here or there, but not necessarily because we're getting snow showers in parts of New Jersey, depending on where you are. It'll be very windy today, blustery highs only in the low 40s. The winds are going to make it feel a lot colder than that. Take a look at the snow right now. Is this what I just sent you, Pam? I literally sent this to Pam 10 seconds ago. You
Oh, she's
are
so fast.
magical. Pam is awesome. I thought that would take an hour. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with a first check of the Garden State forecast. Mike,
We're
did
not union. A union shop would take an hour.
she
Pam is
turn that
like
around in
this.
like 5
Uh-huh.
seconds? What the hell? I don't
Uh-huh.
even think it
I
left my
know.
phone. Anyway, I'm sorry.
It's
Getting too excited. Good
okay.
morning to you, Mike.
Good morning to you. It is the magic that Pam makes every morning behind the scenes, and we love it. Yeah, you will see some snow flurries this morning. That's it. See, Pam loves the cold and the snow, so it's that extra cheer this morning, making it lovely around this morning, making it feel nice. If you're into the snow, if you're an Elsa or an Anna, you're walking around feeling frozen this morning. Well, there is in fact that freeze warning that lasts through 9 a.m. for all of northeastern New Jersey. So now all of New Jersey has seen the freezing temperatures, with temperatures right now holding right at 30 in Sussex, 32 in Morristown, 33 in Long Branch. It is a solid 22 degrees cooler than this time yesterday, from Newark and Long Branch right down to Ship Bottom, 18 degrees cooler in Mount Holly. I mean, this map says it all to show just that chill that lingers. The air is extremely dry, like wintertime dry, and even with that, they're still allowing enough of a moisture for that snow to fall. So you see a few little blips of blue there rolling across northern New Jersey, specifically north of Route 80. But I think if you're north of Route 78 today, you could see a few snow showers return even late this morning into the early afternoon. The Futurecast shows that pretty well. As far as the wind gusts today, there is a little bit of a wind chill due to those breezes that are gusting at times up to about 30 miles per hour. So it'll be breezy this afternoon. It's still breezy tomorrow, and that just adds to the chill, making it feel like the teens at times with those wind chills so low. Here's the Futurecast showing another round of scattered snow showers around 11 a.m. You might run into a flurry burst if you're driving on the road, so be careful of that. Even through the lunchtime hour, 1, 2 o'clock, some of these showers mix with some snowflakes dissipating. And then another round of cold weather tonight down in the 20s. Actual air temperatures in the 20s for northern New Jersey, maybe as low as, say, the mid 30s there in central New Jersey and south, slightly warmer. Again, that's due to a southwesterly breeze. So we actually make it into the low 50s tomorrow, but again, not a whole lot of sun. It's going to be another gray day with that chill lingering right through the end of the week. Beyond that, into Thursday and Friday, there's really no relief. It stays chilly going into the end of the week with another round of cold weather for Friday morning. And yes, we're back in the 20s on Friday morning, just hovering around the freezing mark through the afternoon, and we could have another few sprinkles by the end of the day. So it's a kind of a cloudy, kind of a cool, but very chilly week ahead with that snow shower activity through the rest of the day. Temperatures only make it into the low 50s through the rest of this week with a mix of clouds and sun. Better chances of seeing some breaks of sun tomorrow and Thursday, but as far as today, yeah, get used to the snowflakes that'll be around in northern New Jersey. We'll tell you more about it with the wind chill, how cold it'll feel. That's coming up in a few minutes, Ken.
Oh, the snowflakes. I hear you, sir. All right. In terms of traffic, we do have issues right now on Route 206. Icing in both directions. That's north of Halsey Road in Hampton Township. All lanes are currently closed. We have a crash on Route 23 southbound north of 287 in Riverdale. The right lane is currently closed there. And we have an overturned truck on Route 46 westbound at or at Route 93, rather, in Palisades Park. The right lane of the two lanes currently closed. So we got a lot of issues on the roadways. Again, Mike is talking about this. We have icy conditions, temperatures right at the freezing mark in some spots. And, the overpasses, we always have to remind ourselves of this when the seasons change. The overpasses freeze before the roadways because they get wind on the top and the bottom blowing over them, so they chill down faster. So just when you go over those overpasses on the highways, know that you might hit patches of ice. The Hudson River crossings right now, the Lincoln is reporting 35 minutes. The Holland is reporting only 20. GWB upper and lower levels, 80-95 approach right now. You could actually see snow coming down there. It is moving very well, though. It's light. Just don't take advantage and go too fast because you do have patches of ice. Temperature in northern New Jersey right now, 36 degrees. Temperature in Trenton is 31 degrees. So it is below freezing as you get into central New Jersey. So just beware of that. Be very careful. There will be patchy ice all over the place. After 40 days of deadlock, the Senate approved a deal to end the longest U.S. government shutdown in history. Excuse me one second, folks, as I fix something. There we go. The longest U.S. government shutdown in history. 8 Democrats and independents joined Republicans to advance the measure. The deal funds the government through January, including worker back pay. So they're going to get paid for the days that the government was shut. And SNAP benefits, they'll get that until next September. Now, Democrats had gained a promise for a December vote on extending expiring health care subsidies. The bill now faces a vote in the House. However, many far-left Democrats like AOC are complaining that Senator Schumer caved to the GOP, which confirms what we have been saying for weeks. This was all BS. The whole thing was the fault concocted by Senator Chuck Schumer and the Democrats all along. Ironically, what the Democrats agreed to on Sunday night had been offered to them 5 weeks ago. We didn't have to go through any of this nonsense, but the Democrats said they would never agree to it, which was just a clean continuing resolution. That's what they ended up doing. They agreed to it after all. So SNAP recipients could have been getting their food all along if the Democrats didn't decide to play politics with people's lives. And I've read online on X people complaining about the Republicans playing politics. The fact that it took 5 Democrats in the Senate to vote and they did it showed that that's all we needed to reopen the government. So do not blame the Republicans when every Republican voted to continue the resolution that the Democrats passed a year ago under Biden. It was the same plan. It was just a 4-week extension. The Democrats played politics. They have to pay for it. Let's see if the wussy mainstream media has the guts to admit the truth that this was a Democrat scheme all along. The ongoing Schumer Democrat government shutdown does continue in the meantime, and it's causing staffing shortages in air traffic control and TSA staffing. Many flights have been delayed or canceled. Airlines warn disruptions will continue even after the shutdown does end at some point this week. The FAA has ordered reductions in the number of flights in response to the staffing shortfall. In fact, as of today, the number of reduction of flights is going to go up to 6%. You see the misery chart right there, Newark toward the top of that chart. So they call that the flight misery chart because that's the number of flight cancellations and delays. We will still be encountering that for another week or two. So don't think, oh, if the government reopens, we're all good. It's going to take a while to get everything back up to normal. Travelers at major hubs like Newark have been facing big delays and cancellations and will continue to do so. Meanwhile, President Trump ordered all air traffic controllers back to work immediately. He called controllers patriots who never took a day off during the shutdown and said those who took sick leave in the last 5 weeks to kind of protest the lack of pay may face disciplinary action. It is against the law to strike, and they're going to say, well, it wasn't a strike, it was sick leave. It is against the law to strike or to use your position as an air traffic controller for political purposes. So if they did that, they will be punished. And to drive home the point, Trump said controllers who performed above and beyond during the shutdown, who showed up for work like they were supposed to, they may be eligible now to receive, get this, a $10,000 bonus. Those who didn't show up, that's what you get. So that teaches you something. In fact, if you didn't show up to try to make your point, because you're a tough guy, right? Now you're going to get a mark on your work record, even if you've been there 20 years. Those who did show up, you get a $10,000 reward. See, do the right thing, that's what you get. You get rewarded. 709, the Supreme Court rejected a petition by former Kentucky Clerk Kim Davis seeking to overturn the 2015 landmark decision legalizing gay marriage nationwide. Davis had refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples and was ordered to pay damages. The denial is seen as a reaffirmation of the court's ruling. President Trump issued pardons to more than 70 political allies, including Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, Sidney Powell, and John Eastman. Trump described the action as part of national reconciliation, calling recipients victims of political persecution. Amazingly, critics of these 70 pardons were deafeningly silent when then outgoing President Joe Biden's auto pen pardoned 4,245 convicted criminals, many of whom were rapists, murderers, drug dealers, and gang leaders, and many of whom have since been rearrested for new felonies since their release. My friends, they call it hypocrisy. States are scrambling after the Department of Agriculture instructed them to reverse full month payments of SNAP benefits issued for November. The reversal stems from the federal government shutdown and a legal order requiring full payments, which the administration appealed because there was no source of money to pay. The Supreme Court granted a temporary stay, meaning the government did not have to pay. So states that went ahead and paid anyway, they may now be stuck with it. Around 42 million Americans receive SNAP benefits, which, by the way, is 3 times the number of recipients versus when President Biden came into office. There were 17 million SNAP recipients. By the time Biden ended office, there were 42 million. Think about that. But yet, blame the Republicans, right? 7-Eleven Paul Tagliabue, who served as NFL commissioner from 1989 to 2006, has died at age 84 of heart failure complicated by Parkinson's. He passed away at his home in Chevy Chase, Maryland. During his 17-year tenure, he oversaw league expansion from 28 to 32 teams and negotiated major TV contracts, all while never having a players' strike. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2020. And Cleveland Guardians pitchers Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz were charged with bribery, fraud, and money laundering tied to an illegal betting ring. Prosecutors allege they rigged specific pitches from 2023 to 2025 for bribes from bettors. The scheme allegedly generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in illegal winnings. Both players deny wrongdoing. Ortiz was arrested in Boston. Clase remains outside U.S. custody. The indictments follow recent FBI crackdowns on sports betting corruption involving figures in baseball, basketball, and organized crime. And New Jersey Democrat Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman announced she is not seeking re-election in 2026. She is the first Black woman representing New Jersey in the House and has served since 2014. She cited family considerations as a reason. This will conclude, I should say, nearly 3 decades of public service. Congresswoman, we thank you for representing New Jersey for those years, and have a good time until you finish your term in 2026. It is currently 37 degrees at 7:13 in northern New Jersey, and we are down to 31 in Trenton. We could see some snow. We're seeing it in northern New Jersey, very windy and cold, highs to low 40s. We're coming right back.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
And welcome back to ONNJ Mornings for your Tuesday. It is Veterans Day. I'm Ken Rosato, 7:15, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Thank a vet. If you have a relative or if it's yourself, talk to us. 888-658-0234. A little sun, little clouds this morning, really mostly cloudy for much of the day. A chance of a snow shower. We're having them right now in northern New Jersey. In fact, it'll be very windy, blustery, highs, low 40s. It's going to feel even colder than that. Meteorologist Mike Favetta will explain for us. Good morning to you, Mike.
Yeah, all about that cold and the wind chill really hitting home, not just today, Ken, but for the next several mornings, allowing for that 40-degree high. Won't feel more like the 30s. We make it to 44 in Mattawan and 45 in Long Branch, even down the shore, 45 in Toms River, but it'll feel like the 30s thanks to that pretty persistent wind all through the afternoon. So with the wind chill through today, again, our warmest part of the day, 3 o'clock, it'll feel like 28 degrees in Sussex. Feels like 29 in Morristown and 36 in Toms River. That's all the heat we can squeeze out today. Gets even colder tonight, back into the 20s by 8 o'clock this evening in northwestern New Jersey. And then tomorrow morning, feeling like the 20s down toward Newark, Hackensack, and even toward Trenton and Mount Holly. So that cold is here to stay, not just for today, but even into tomorrow and the next several mornings. Thursday morning feels like the 20s and low 30s statewide. Feels like below the freezing mark, even in through Friday morning. Back again, 19 degrees in Flemington. So right through the end of this week, that cold weather sticks around. There's a little bit of relief this weekend, but it comes with some rain. So as that warm front pushes in, it'll make it feel quite chilly. So here's the system that's spinning around the Great Lakes, getting enhanced by the lake effect snow, and then providing us with those snow showers throughout this afternoon. So there are a few more on the way. That'll come later on today. As we head into the weekend, we warm into the 50s, but again, that comes with some showers by Sunday as that wind is out of the west and southwest, pushing up temperatures back to where they should be in the mid 50s, but also brings back a chance of rain. We'll tell you more about those snow showers today into tomorrow. Details coming up with the 7-day forecast, Ken, in a few minutes.
All right, sir. Very good. Much appreciated. It is chilly, 36 degrees right here in northern New Jersey, but it gets colder as you go down toward Trenton, or as they say, Trenton. It is 31 degrees in Trenton right now, and it's 32 degrees down in Cape May. So really a real different array of temperatures depending on where you are in the state of New Jersey. But nonetheless, we are hovering around the freezing mark, so please be careful. Wearing the red, white, and blue, by the way, blue, white, red for our veterans. God bless you and love you for doing what you did for serving our country. It's a lot more bravery than I have. And you risked your life, and we appreciate you. You don't get the praise you deserve. We look at some of the traffic right now. We have delays on Route 21 southbound at exit 9, Route 3 in Clifton. All lanes are open, but there's about a mile delay going through there, just volume. We also have delays on the Garden State northbound south of exit 145, I-280 East Orange to 150. That's 5 miles of delays, all due to volume and people going slow, and they should, because roadways are damp from snow blasts, little quick snow blasts that we've had overnight. At Route 206, we have icing in both directions at Halsey Road in Hampton Township. All lanes are closed as a result. They're treating that. Route 23, there's a crash southbound north of 287 in Riverdale. The right lane of 3 lanes closed. Overturned truck 46 westbound Route 93 Palisades Park, but the right lane of 2 lanes closed there. If I did not, I think I just repeated myself. It's written twice, so forgive me. And then we look at the Hudson River approaches. We're told right now we have some delays. It says going into the Holland Tunnel. It's about 25 minutes. That's not too bad. That's just volume. But that's from Tunnelly Circle in about 25 minutes. The Lincoln Tunnel is saying 30 to 35. GWB approach 8095 is actually moving very well. You can see the snow, though. So make sure you give yourselves a little extra travel time. Go slowly, please. 7:19 is our time. A police chase on Sunday ended in a crash after gunshots were fired. New Jersey State Police say they were chasing an Acura westbound on I-280 near exit 11 in Orange when the Acura collided with a Mercedes. Witnesses said they heard gunfire after the collision. The Acura was found with bullet holes in its window. You can see it. This is a good Samaritan who drove by and just happened to videotape this from their car. The reason for the chase remains unknown. The incident now under investigation. An Uber driver was killed in a crash in Gloucester County while driving his vehicle in West Deptford. The multi vehicle accident happened on Sunday. It's under investigation. The driver's identity and the specific cause not yet confirmed. Meanwhile, a fight broke out just before 10 p.m. Sunday night at the TGI Fridays on South Park Avenue in Linden. Police say they arrived to find an unconscious victim with a stab wound. The victim was rushed to Newark University Hospital, where he or she was later pronounced dead. No arrests have been made. The investigation is ongoing. 7:20 right now. A recently released state report from the New Jersey Office of Innovation shows greater use of artificial intelligence, AI, across New Jersey government. All the different offices are using it. Highlights, I should say, include using AI to identify nearly 100,000 additional children eligible for free summer meals, and a New Jersey AI assistant tool rolled out to over 15,000 state workers. The report also notes live chatbots and call transcript AI at 13 major call centers to greatly reduce wait times. New Jersey has been designated as an advanced AI readiness state by the Nonprofit Code for America. But I just want to point something out. Here's how you know New Jersey's a Democrat state. Just because it identified 100,000 children eligible to get food assistance, that doesn't mean that they need food assistance. Let me explain. Maybe the parents are working two jobs and they want to feed their children the way we've done it for 20,000 years. And they don't want the government to give them assistance. But in typical liberal fashion, it's like Democrats search for programs and there's free money. That free money, you morons, is your tax money and my tax money. Maybe we could use it for an emergency. Maybe the parents who had these children would like to feed these children with money they are earning themselves. But in typical liberal New Jersey Democrat fashion, they've identified using AI. Yeah, because in their minds, it's all about getting more money from government to give them more control, to control the whole circumstance, to make people reliant on them so they have to keep voting them in like this last election. That is New Jersey Democrat, the New Jersey Democrat in a nutshell. We don't have that in Florida, where I live half the time. It's just the opposite. And you have a lot of poor people who come from third world countries in Florida, way more than in New Jersey, by the way. Much of Central America and South America is in Florida, the majority of the state, in fact. And guess what? They don't use as much SNAP as we do here. So let that be a lesson. New Jersey, though, has been ranked the second friendliest state in the U.S. Maybe if you didn't dole out all the SNAP, you'd be the first friendliest state. Just beyond Hawaii, according to a new study by travel operator Journeyscape. The report looked at visitor sentiment and happiness levels to determine which states offer the warmest welcome. Welcome to New Jersey. Now get over there. With an overall score of 8.86 out of 10, the Garden State earned high marks for both resident happiness and visitor satisfaction. By the way, 11 years ago, Newark was voted the unfriendliest city in America. I looked that up and I was like, really? And as a joke, one of the night shows showed the happy bird of Newark was, and they showed somebody flipping the bird. Hey, come on into Newark. That is not true, by the way. Newark is a lovely place. I love Newark. I'm just saying that really was a thing 11 years ago. If it was the case, it has changed because it's one of my favorite places to hang out, some of the best restaurants in the region. There you have it. 7:23. Today is Veterans Day, a time to pause, reflect, and honor the bravery of those who've served our nation across New Jersey. Again, we're in the red, white, and blue right here. It looks like I'm awkward because I'm looking at it in reverse. So I'm trying to figure out what is left is right and what is right is left. It's like looking at a mirror. Across New Jersey, communities and businesses are finding ways to say thank you to our veterans. For Veterans Day is about being appreciated and remembered for their sacrifice. In East Rutherford, Big Snow American Dream is offering veterans and active duty service members a few free hours of skiing and snowboarding. Down the road from there, the team at Wayback Burgers, cool place, by the way. Wayback Burgers is giving back through a national donation drive, contributing a portion of Veterans Day sales to an organization that supports military families and first responders. It's a small gesture that carries a big message of gratitude. So we say once again, God bless you. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all our veterans. President Trump has threatened to file a billion-dollar lawsuit against the BBC over the way the UK state broadcaster edited at least one of his speeches in a documentary last year. BBC Chairman Samir Shah apologized yesterday for the controversy, which has plunged the broadcaster into an existential crisis. The apology came a day after BBC Director General Tim Davie and BBC News Chief Executive Deborah Turness basically got their asses handed to them and they were kicked out. They were fired after getting criticism from the White House. Translation, yeah, you either resign or you're going to get fired. Why? BBC aired their version of, their big documentary show, which is Panorama. That's the equivalent of like our version of 60 Minutes or 2020. It's called Panorama. I'm not trying to indict 2020 or 60 Minutes. I'm just doing a comparison here. So Panorama, which is on the BBC, ran a week before the 2024 US election. They aired video that was spliced together two parts of President Trump's remarks on January 6, 2021, before the riot at the Capitol. Listen to what was broadcast by the BBC, then hear what Trump actually said. Listen up.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
So clearly that was a scam. Okay. That whole thing made it sound like Trump was saying, let's go riot. That wasn't what he said at all. In fact, those two statements were an hour apart. It was fakely edited video. That was exactly the video the Democrats used to accuse Trump of starting the January 6th riot. They called it insurrection, which there was no insurrection. Nobody was charged with insurrection. So technically that was not an insurrection. An insurrection would stop the government. It would intervene and stop the government, somebody from taking over the government. It never happened. So it's not an insurrection. It wasn't even a riot. We find out there were hundreds, 400 or more FBI agents planted undercover in that crowd. We have video who urged people to go to the Capitol. Yeah, come on in. And once the people came in, they got arrested. So that is entrapment. This is still being investigated. It was dirty and it was all a setup by the left. For the record, again, no one was ever charged with insurrection. Oh, by the way, it begins now. Remember how Zohran Mamdani made free bus rides a cornerstone of his mayoral campaign? Well, Governor Kathy Hochul in New York conveniently waited till after the election to announce Mamdani's free bus plan won't happen. It would cost the MTA almost $1 billion a year. The agency's already tens of billions in the red, so they can't afford it. Wait till everybody finds out you're also not going to get free childcare, free college, and all the other freebies he promised, and he can't freeze the rent. At the end of the day, all you're going to have is a communist in charge and none of the promised freebies. All your freedoms taken away. 727, you're watching ONNJ Mornings. We are coming back in 2 minutes. Don't go away.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Very good morning to you. It is 36 degrees in northern New Jersey, 31 degrees in Trenton, 7:30, Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, 11:11. Today is Veterans Day. Thank you to our veterans. God bless you. Do you have any veterans in your family? Are you a veteran? Give us a call, 888-658-0234. I want to mention your name and thank you personally for what you did, your bravery and your service. You deserve a lifetime of thanks for doing what you did. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome to ONNJ Mornings. Partly sunny this morning in some spots, otherwise cloudy all day. Cloudy certainly later. Chance of snow showers no matter where you are. We got them right here in northern New Jersey. It'll be very windy. In fact, Pam, do you have the snow shower video? Let's throw a wrench at Pam. Pam's like, why are you doing this to me, Ken? There we go. Thank you. That was only 10 minutes to 7. So that was 40 minutes ago in northern New Jersey, right by me. That's how, I mean, that was quite a little burst of snow. Didn't stick, well, a little bit on the grass, but that's about it. We find out how windy and cold it's going to be today, though. Highs only in the low 40s. It'll feel colder than that. I know somebody who knows all the details. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with the full Garden State forecast. That kind of took me by surprise this morning.
Yeah, a little bit of snow. And I think that portions of northeastern New Jersey could see that snow return again later this morning into the early afternoon, right around the lunchtime hours. So al fresco lunch maybe turning to el frio by the end of the day, especially with those gusts up to 19, 23 miles per hour now, but going higher before the day is through. And that will make it feel quite chilly, even down the shore from Atlantic City to Ocean City. These temperatures climbing only into the mid 40s, which again is about 10 degrees below average. It'll feel quite chilly through the rest of the week. Our average is 57. We're not getting anywhere near that, at least through Friday. Look at the snow flurries that came through northern New Jersey. There's another batch right now working through the northern sections of Morris County, even through Hunterdon and Somerset County, and even sections of Warren County right now. Those continue through the next several hours with these flurry bursts, if you will, these squalls that will take us through. You see them again right through the early afternoon. Later tonight, another round of frigid air comes in, so we start off tomorrow morning, actual air temperatures down around freezing, and while we only make it to the upper 40s tomorrow, there's another round of cold air that comes each and every morning. With the wind, it'll feel like it's in the 20s each morning, even though the highs struggle to make it back into the 50s. The futurecast, the broader view, showing the whole large area of these snow squalls that are working over the Great Lakes, kind of getting enhanced by the unfrozen lakes, that's lake effect snow, and giving us our chances of flurries throughout the rest of the day. There are clouds for the rest of the week. I think today is really the only day we'll see the flurry chances through the midday, but heavy on the clouds right through the remainder of Thursday and Friday. Saturday starts to clear, but we get another round of wet weather by Sunday. So a little bit of a chill settling in with highs that struggle to make it out of the 40s, maybe the low 50s briefly each afternoon, dipping back into the 40s on Saturday. And there's our next chance for rain by Sunday. So it takes a while to see another round of substantial wet weather. Again, dry the rest of this week, breaks of sun at times, but also I think it'll just be cloudy most of the day. We're at that time of the year where it's hard to get a lot of persistent sun when we have all of these slow-moving systems in the upper atmosphere, and that's what keeps our temperatures so cool. I think by Sunday, with a little chance of break of sun down the shore, maybe get to 60, but still, that's just average. So a cooler feel ahead this weekend, starting off frigid this morning and taking us through the rest of the week quite chilly.
You know what? One of my favorite times of the year to go to the shore is right now because it's
Mm,
empty. You get
it
around,
is.
great little shops, good
Yes.
restaurants. There are good restaurants down the shore, and you get that beautiful ocean. You can't dip your toe in the water unless you're cuckoo, or one of those, what do they call them? The polar bears?
Polar
Other than
bears,
that,
yeah.
yeah, other than that, it's beautiful. Jersey Shore is just gorgeous. All right, Mike, yeah, and I'm still kind of taken by that little snowburst that we had. And now all the cameras, all the traffic cameras we're looking at throughout northern New Jersey, we're seeing breaks of nice sunshine, bright sun coming through. So
Yeah,
that must have been a nice little cluster of heavy clouds that went
right.
bye-bye, and
Uh-huh.
we'll see what happens. But
And then
as
the
you said,
snow
it
will
could
be
be
back
coming
in
back.
another hour probably. So it'll be that kind
There
of
you have it.
mix today.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mike. We believe you. You always come through. He's always right. His forecast is always right on it. 36 degrees now again, northern New Jersey, 31 in Trenton. In terms of traffic, let's take a look at 280. This is in Newark, McCarter Highway. So you see 280 by 21. So these folks are heading, look at the sun there. You got all that sun from the left there, from the east. So these people are heading into Newark, coming from the area of Newark Airport. You've probably driven on this road a million times. This is where 280 dumps onto Route 21. Not unusual this time of the morning. This is where they're getting off the highway and getting right into the heart of downtown Newark. Not far from the Prudential Center. Just a little bit heavier than normal. I think people are going a little slower because of the damp roadways. So just give yourselves extra travel time. We have a crash on Route 29 southbound Calhoun Street in Trenton area. That's right lane is closed of the two lanes. Also a crash 23 in both directions south of Stockholm Vernon Road in Hardee's Township. All lanes are closed. We have a crash down the GSP northbound south of 148 JFK Drive in Bloomfield. The right lane is blocked. That's going to cause some problems. In fact, I'll check that camera out. Pam, we do have several cameras in that area. That's the same area as we had an accident yesterday. So we'll get that for the next report. Crash on Route 23, southbound north of 287 in Riverdale. The right lane is closed there. And we have an overturned truck now reported on 46 westbound at 93 Palisades Park. The right lane is closed. Your Hudson River crossings right now, the Lincoln Tunnel is reporting 35 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes at the Holland GWB. Upper and lower levels been good all morning so far. Really wide open. I'm kind of surprised. Just damp roadways. Give yourselves extra travel time. 15 to 20. It's all it's going to cost you to get into Manhattan there. 7:36. We talked about this earlier, and we should talk about it all day. Today is Veterans Day, and one New Jersey-based organization is taking action to honor those who've served by tackling one of the most pressing challenges that many veterans face: homelessness. The Foundation for Sustainable Veteran Housing, or FSVH, is launching a new campaign called Give Me Five. This simple but powerful social media challenge is encouraging people to donate $5 to help end veteran homelessness. And then you tag 5 friends to do the same. So you say, I'm such and such, I'm donating $5, and I tag, boom, 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 you donate $5. Brilliant idea. The idea is to create that ripple effect of gratitude. And anyone can join. It's not like you have to dump ice water on your head like some of those challenges have had. The campaign is part of a much larger vision, though. It's to end veteran homelessness in New Jersey by building affordable housing in every single county, co-located with American Legion posts. Listen to this idea: providing both a home and built-in community for those who have served. Why did no one ever think of this before? Joining us now to share more is Joe Mindak, who is Executive Director of the Foundation for Sustainable Veteran Housing. Joe, good morning. This is about the smartest thing I've heard in a year. This is brilliant. Brilliant.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it.
You have a lot of
my wife
well, I love she had the idea. Was that her idea?
No,
God bless her.
I come up with a lot of ideas, and she always thinks I'm crazy, but this one I think she enjoys as well. So
It's awesome. I mean, I know all my American Legion posts in the area because anytime I have a flag that people don't realize, I think when you have a flag that gets tattered, you shouldn't keep flying it. You get a new one. And I always take my old flag to my local American Legion, and they burn it in a respectful ceremony, in a dignified ceremony. So I know my American Legion posts. Great guys there all the time. So how did the idea for the Give Me Five campaign first come about? Tell us the story.
So, we keep thinking about ways to raise more money for the veterans, right? We're building eight locations right now in New Jersey. 2 of them are shovel ready, right? Hoboken and Westfield are ready to put the shovel in the ground. We had some funds that were reappropriated, so we needed to come up with an idea to raise some money quickly to get these ready to go. We have 40 units literally ready to start building right now. So the Give Me Five campaign was something I came up with years ago at United Way in Newark, but it was before all the social media and everything was going on. So the idea was, hey, look, these veterans were there. They were overseas wishing they had 5 minutes to just be home for 5 minutes, right? And now they're looking for homes. They're back and they need them. So if everyone could take 5 minutes today, right? Everyone says, oh, Veterans Day, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. This is a way to take 5 minutes, donate $5, and just simply ask 5 other people to do that. But you have to ask those other 5 people, right? It doesn't work unless you exponentially grow this. So if you ask 5 people, they ask 5 people, and that goes on and on, we could raise up to $10 million, right? Because if you go 8 levels, that's 1.9 million people. But you have to do it. You have to take that 5 minutes, not to just donate the 5. You're getting off the hook. We're not asking you for 50 or 100 or 500. We're asking you for 5. But the hook is you have to send it to 5 other people. You have to tag them on social media and get them to donate the $5 as well. And that'll get us ready to start building tomorrow, right? We just need that last tranche of money to get this over the hump, and then we're ready to start building.
I love it. And in the era of social media, everybody has that built-in cadre of friends, and you post yourself on social media. Hey, look at it this way. If you have 500 friends or 1,000 friends, tag them all. I mean, I know I'm
Yeah, we
pushing it
won't, we
now,
won't,
but
we won't, we won't, we won't, take offense if you tag more than 5 people. But the idea is to get at least
exactly.
5 people, right? So yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
tag as many as you can. It'd be great.
Smart idea. Now, Joe, tell us about Mike, rather. I'm sorry. Tell us about the number of homeless vets we have in New Jersey. And this is disgraceful that we are not taking care of these people. How many homeless vets do we have in the Garden State?
Yeah, so right now there's 543 veterans identified as at risk, right, or homeless, right? So a
Sure.
lot of these veterans are just living on their cousin's couch or their aunt or wherever it is. They just don't have the credit, they don't have the money to put down for a deposit. They're just looking for their own home, right? That deals a lot with veteran suicide, right? Not having your own home. So right now there's 543. We're building about 200 units with the 8 locations in different phases. So we're looking to build another 350. So all these funds are going to help us get a home for every single veteran we've identified in New Jersey, right? There's more than 543, but those
Certainly.
ones we know we can literally do that, right? We are doing it. We're building housing right now, and we can continue doing that. We just need, we need the help of everyone else in New Jersey to help us do this.
And Joe, of course, I just called you Mike. I referred to you as my meteorologist, Mike.
That's
That's why I
okay.
called you that. I'm looking up, it says Mike on my script here because we just had Mike on. Joe
Yeah.
Mindak. I apologize. You talked about expanding. You have other shovel-ready locations. So talk about the projects in Westfield and Hoboken in more detail. Like, where did you first find these locations, and how difficult was the permitting process and all? How, I mean, it sounds, we talk about it in a sentence, but that's not an easy process.
Right. Yeah. So we originally started with Hoboken, right? Hoboken had gotten wiped out in Sandy. They had a one-car garage that was just, during Sandy wiped out. So we rebuilt that, just cosmetically, and then we found Monarch Housing, which happens to raise money to build housing for homeless veterans. So we brought them on, and then all of a sudden we had this idea to tear down the Westfield American Legion, build a first of its kind in the country with an American Legion Hall with housing on top of it. So we have 6 units of housing above that. And then since
And
then,
that's
we've
the
looking at locations. Yep.
And Joe, I don't mean to cut it short only because we're coming
Yeah.
up on commercial. I need to get that website on because we want everyone to do
Yep.
that $5 challenge. What's that website?
Yeah. It's fsvh.org. And you can go on there and you'll see the Give Me Five campaign on there. So it's Frank, Sam, Victor, Hugo, Foundation for Sustainable
Absolutely.
Veteran Housing.org.
You will
And yeah,
have
and
me
please
doing it
pass it along.
today. Me
Awesome.
doing it
Thank you,
today, my
Ken.
friend. All right. Joe Mindak, Executive Director of the Foundation for Sustainable Veteran Housing. You are a prince. God bless you for what you're doing. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you again.
Yeah. Thank you. And thanks for everyone for their service.
And we're coming right back.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Welcome back to ONNJ Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 7:45, taking calls at 888-658-0234. A little bit of sunshine starting to break out, but mostly cloudy for much of the day. A little chance of a snow shower. We had a squall come through northern New Jersey an hour ago, and Mike was saying we may get another one. Very windy today, blustery, highs low 40s. This ain't your sunshine from summertime. The wind will make it feel colder than that. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast. Little surprise walking the
Yeah.
puppy this morning.
Uh-huh. It's true. I looked out the window a few minutes ago, and that same snow squall that hit you about 55 minutes earlier passed over my house. So
Ugh.
those showers, those snow squalls are moving east. It looks pretty, right? A little bit of snow to start off on a Tuesday morning on Veterans Day. And with our weather staying chilly and looking cold throughout this afternoon, our high today only gets into the upper 30s and low 40s in northern New Jersey. Mostly cloudy skies here, but again, a chance of another snow shower through the middle of the day, feeling like it's in the upper 20s and low 30s with the wind chill. Now, beyond this, there's not really much warmth ahead. Most of that warm weather stays off to the Midwest, again, relatively speaking, above average by just a few degrees. But most of the country is seeing an increased chance of rainfall over the next 2 weeks, so we could be in a wetter pattern going forward. Our forecast keeps it chilly here in New Jersey for the next several days, right through the middle of the week. High temperatures only making it into the low 50s. That's below average right through the weekend, staying cool. Northern New Jersey has a pretty good shot of seeing some wet weather on Sunday, but the shore points may actually stay dry. So beyond the clouds and snow showers today, we should see some more breaks of sun each and every day throughout the rest of the week. Doesn't mean it's going to get warm. It stays chilly even into the first part of the weekend. 50 as the high on Saturday, one of the coolest days over the next few. And then by Sunday down the shore, we'll see temperatures briefly jump to 60 before cooling off again into next week. So looks like the deep chill is here to stay, Ken, for the foreseeable future.
So does this mean I could put my frozen goods out on the balcony yet?
That's more like a January, February thing
Oh,
because they got to be in the shade. One, can't put them in the
right.
sun because that's not would thaw. But still, yeah, I think you can do the freezer defrost later on. I have to wait a little bit more
Because I
into the
remember
winter
there was a
season.
Thanksgiving about 10 years ago, and we had like 30 people over the house, and I had no room. I had no room in the freezer. And the forecast was like 20 degrees every day for the next 10 days. I was like, I got
Done.
just a giant chill box, put the stuff in there, put it out in the shade, and it was frozen solid, stayed that way. But it's a
Amazing.
risk because if you get sunshine or a day that's above
Yeah.
30, it's not a good thing. So anyway, 32, I should say. All right, Mike, we'll check back. Thank you, sir. It is now 36 degrees northern New Jersey, and we have a temp of 31 in Trenton. It's 30 degrees down in Cape Bay and 31 degrees in Vineland. In terms of traffic, let's take a look at the Garden State Parkway right now, if we can. We have a crash on the GSP northbound south of exit 148, JFK Junior Drive exit in or rather in Bloomfield. The right lane is blocked. It's kind of hard to tell on that shot, but as they come around the bend, that's where they're hitting that. So you could see them slowing down. A little bit of fog, sun trying to make it through. It's a funky morning. You have a little bit of everything in terms of weather. We had a snow squall an hour ago, another one coming. So that's what we have right now to deal with. So give yourselves a little time. We have a crash reported now, 295 southbound north of exit 28, which is Black Horse Pike in Haddon Heights. The right shoulder is closed. That's causing a slowdown. We have a crash on 29 southbound by Calhoun Street in Trenton. The right lane is closed there. And we have an overturned truck reported on Route 46. That is westbound at Route 93 in Palisades Park, with the right lane closed. Now we have delays on Route 15 southbound south of Lafayette Franklin Road in Lafayette Township. All lanes are open, but just a lot of delays through there. Your Hudson River approaches. Lincoln Tunnel is now 35 minutes. The Holland Tunnel, we're told, is 25 to 30 from Tunnelly Circle in, and the GWB upper and lower has been very, very light. Now I've jinxed it. It's been very light, only 15 to 20 minutes in, either upper or lower level, upper on the right, lower on the left. 7:50 is our time right now. We're heading into the holiday season. It's a time of joy, a time for connection. And let's be honest, Aunt Mary and Uncle Joe sometimes come and bring the politics, right? Navigating those tricky dynamics can be especially challenging for couples trying to balance love and loyalty and in-laws. And to help us unpack it all, we're joined by Dr. Tracy Dalgleish, who is the author of You, Your Husband, and His Mother. I love the title of that book. Dr. Tracy's here with a holiday survival plan for couples with practical strategies to anticipate challenges, set some healthy boundaries, I should say, and come out of family gatherings stronger together. Good morning to you, Dr. Tracy.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you for having me here. And I know we're all having conversations about holidays right now.
There's even the title of your book. It reminds me of there used to be a play on Broadway years ago. I love you. You're perfect now. Change. You're not old enough to remember that. I'm much older than you, but every time I used to hear that, I'm like, that is so much, right? You're
Yes.
clearly a doctor. You understand. That is so many people say he's perfect, but if only. And you can't change people. So this is the same thing here. You just kind of have to accept and live and let live. So how do we deal with this when we have all those loved ones coming over? Who's going to smoke the cigar with the bad hairpiece and talk about, "Ah, you like this Trump guy? We're going to hear this. How do we deal?
Ken, I say to every couple who comes into my therapy room that it's not you versus me, it's we against the problem. And that is one of the biggest struggles that couples really get stuck in. And it was what motivated me to write this book, is because everybody wants to communicate and feel connected. And every single person wants that healthy family relationship. And so, one of the first things I say to couples is about getting ahead of the holiday season. You know what uncle is coming over and who's doing what. You know if your mother-in-law is going to bring up politics or babies again this year. So have that conversation ahead of time with your partner so that it's not you versus me and you're the bad guy, but instead, how do we want to approach this year, knowing that family tends to be predictable and consistent?
I have in my own situation, my husband has an aunt. I've given it away on the air because he only has one aunt. And this aunt is very political. And when I'm not doing this, I'm on political radio doing political talk. I don't talk politics when I'm off the air with family. I never do. I never bring it up. This aunt makes it a point to bring it up constantly. My husband will nudge me. I have scars over here. I don't say a word. Like he's anticipating I'm going to respond. It's almost like she's egging me on. Do people do that? Do people look for the fight?
There's almost this attention that people get, and it's a way of relating to others. Where if I get a rise out of you, it feels good for me. So I'm going to come in all the time, knowing that there's a hot button for you. And it's always our choice. Am I going to take the bait? Am I going to respond to this? And that's really what this book is about: is giving people the sense of agency and choice. Because Ken, you've already alluded to this. You don't get to change your family, but we all say that family is important to us. And so then how am I going to respond to that? And when you don't take that bait, when you change the conversation, or you say, now's the time for me to stretch my body, I'm going to go for a walk, or you go to the washroom, you excuse yourself from the table and go to the washroom, splash water on your face and come back, you're saying to someone implicitly, this is a conversation I'm not willing to have with you.
Gotcha. And you know what? The old saying, kill him with kindness. Aunt Nancy, now I've said her name. Oh, Aunt Nancy is a great cook. So I always just pause, change the subject, and say, how did you get the recipe for this? This is amazing. And that's what I usually do to divert the attention. Sometimes it works, more often it doesn't, but at least it doesn't escalate into something.
Yes.
So that's what I find.
Absolutely. And that's the key piece, is we don't want to have more conflict at the holiday table. Families want to feel connected, and that's going to look different for everybody. So you deciding, I'm going to change the topic, and Nancy, can you please give me your recipe for this because I absolutely love it. That is more important than engaging in those hot conversations. And in step 5 of my vault method inside the book, that's where couples are really going to learn how to set your action plan so that you're prepared for that holiday table this year.
Now, is it more difficult though if you have a big group? Like you might have 5 people, you can kind of set the plan. When you get 25 or 30 for a big Thanksgiving gathering, how do you do it in that case?
Well, I think that really depends. It depends on who the players are. It depends on what your relationship looks like. Do you have children that are coming to the family holiday as well? All of those layers matter. And it also depends. And this is where, again, in the first section of the book, I teach people how to identify your style, what relationship cycles you get in, and also what type of mother in law you have, because that will determine how you're going to respond to them. And so if it's a big gathering and you're feeling this pressure to engage, again, you get to choose, I'm going to step out. This isn't something that I want to do. And that really is the power of how we can show up in our relationships.
You've said that even confident, very accomplished women can sometimes struggle to set the boundaries with the in-laws. Why is that specifically that dynamic, the women with the in-laws? Is it that you're afraid of offending your husband, or what causes that?
Yeah, this is such a common thing I see for women, and they are boundary bosses in their life. They are CEOs, they have 4 children, they run their own business, and yet when it comes to their mother-in-law, they really struggle to express clear, kind boundaries, and that's where the conflict also shows up between her and her partner. And so what happens here is often due to a power dynamic. Most
Mhm.
women enter families wanting to be liked. And we know that women can often land in this role of performing and pleasing and caring for others. And so, in that position, when we're trying to be accepted by a family, then that's where we start to struggle because we're not asserting ourselves and we're not communicating with kindness and love when something doesn't feel good, or even if we need something in that family position. And so it was really interesting throughout my 20 years, near 20 years of working with couples, to see just how much people were struggling to do this when they were doing it in all other areas of their life.
Interesting. And by the way, for the record, that aunt we mentioned before, I do love her for real. I'm not just saying that to blow smoke now. And she is an amazing cook, probably one of the best cooks in the whole family. So she's a great lady. We just got to keep our fingers crossed when we go in there. But I will not take the bait. I will not take the bait. Give us a website, please, Doctor, for the book and for more information and find out more about how to plan for the holidays.
Absolutely. You can find me at drtracyd.com. My book is available on all formats, everywhere you get books, and you're going to walk away feeling more aligned and like a team for this holiday season. So thank you so much, Ken, for having me.
And doctor, by the way, I've gone to your YouTube site. You have great YouTube videos, phenomenal videos up. So find Dr. Tracy online on YouTube and check out the videos. Brilliant stuff. We love you. Please come on again.
Thank you so much.
You bet, Dr. Tracy. Happy holidays. The author of Your Husband, Your Husband and His Mother, Great Holiday Survival Plan, Dr. Tracy Dalgleach. And it is now 7:57. We have some snow in some areas. We'll have the details with Mike when we come back on New Jersey Mornings.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
All right, good morning to you. It is 8 a.m. on Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, Veterans Day, and happy Veterans Day to you. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. We talked to Dr. Tracy a moment ago on how to avoid political comments. We talk Take two. We talk political stuff here on New Jersey Mornings, so we do welcome your politics here. Just that when you're at the dinner table with loved ones and family, this is your chance to gather and talk about Uncle Joe and Aunt Mary and the kids and all. Don't use that as an opportunity to fight. Partly sunny this morning, mostly cloudy later, slight chance of a snow shower all day long. We had a big squall in northern New Jersey a little while ago. It'll be very windy, highs low 40s. Winds are going to make it feel a lot colder, not just today, but for a few days. But I know someone will tell you why. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has a full check of the Garden State forecast. And Mike, when you're starting, let's throw another wrench in the works of Pam. Pam, you might as well let's go to Mike with snow. Do you have a little snow? Oh,
Yeah,
there you go, Mike.
the
Ah,
snow video. Yep, that's it.
that's from an
That's
hour
the snow
ago.
video from earlier, from an hour ago, and I just sent Pam the video from a few minutes ago that I caught outside my window of that
Wow.
same snow squall that traveled across New Jersey and hit
I had it
me, and
first.
that's what
I had it first.
Well, it's actually showing up on radar. That's how pronounced it was, because the radar sees the ice crystals in the atmosphere, reflects pretty well, and there it goes. So it started here in northern New Jersey about an hour ago. This just shows the last half hour, and then worked its way across the Hudson over into the city and out into the ocean. So yeah, little bit of a flurry burst earlier this morning. The freeze warning expiring in just 58 minutes. It's all of that cold weather that ends the growing season now for the northeastern corner of the state. And that's why we have temperatures that currently sit at 30 right now up in Sussex, 34 in Morristown, 36 in Newark. We're not going to get much warmer today. We are a solid 18 to 22 degrees cooler than this time yesterday, and 20 degrees cooler even in Newark. And the dew point is in the teens, meaning the air is bone dry. So again, those light snow squalls coming across northern New Jersey, hitting Sussex, Bergen, Passaic, right through Essex and Union County. If you saw another flake or flurry, if you missed it, don't worry, there's more on the way later on this morning into the early afternoon. And a lot of wind too, so those gusts making those flurries fly throughout the midday into the early afternoon, anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour. We get another breezy day tomorrow, but the winds tomorrow are out of the south and west, which puts a pause on the snow machine, but just keeps that cold air coming on in through the afternoon. So the futurecast through the 9-10 o'clock hours showing another round of snow showers developing, these through the middle of the day. So think lunchtime hour. You could run into a rogue shower or sprinkle there through northern New Jersey. That will be the case with these bursts of flurries into the end of the day today. Tomorrow, due to that wind direction, I don't think we'll see any additional flurry activity, but there will be some clouds and temperatures that warm maybe a few degrees warmer than today, up into the upper 40s and low 50s. And that's really the case right throughout Thursday and Friday as well. Plenty of chilly air, with us back in the 20s there in northwestern New Jersey, 30s at the coast, only climbing into the upper 40s, maybe touching 50, but more clouds on the way for Friday into Friday night. So the next few days feeling chilly, even though we get some few more breaks of sun each and every day. Temperatures really don't go anywhere. We'll hold in the upper 40s and low 50s right through the rest of this week. So yeah, cold weather ahead, Ken.
Hey, we have a little something that you sent in, Mikey Mike. So this
Mm-hmm.
is your snow. Tell us about this, the snow that's coming
Yeah.
now.
So I got very jealous of Ken seeing the snow this morning. I am a snow fan myself, so I went, I'm going to go and snow hunt and see if I can find. And here we go. Looking out the window, a little bit of a breeze there on the street, and there were some flakes flying this morning. I probably missed the bulk of it, but still, just to see some of that snow early on a Tuesday morning in November, thinking, yeah, season is upon us. Here we go.
There you have it. All right. And he's a dad, he's a husband, he's a meteorologist, he runs a company. Oh, and he shoots snow video in his spare time in between all of that. Thank you very much. You could bring home the
That's right.
bacon, fry it up in a pan. We could sing a song about it. Mike, thank you very much, sir. We'll check back with you in just a little bit, buddy. It is 36 degrees northern New Jersey, 33 now in Trenton. It was 31 in Trenton much of the morning. Now we're finally above freezing. Just beware there is patchy ice on a lot of the roadways, so be careful as you drive along. Let's look at some of the accidents. Let's go to the Garden State Parkway right now. So we have an issue on the Garden State Parkway northbound, north of exit 144, Route 510 in Newark. The right lane is blocked with that crash you see right there. So that is happening right now. That's a live camera shot. Garden State Parkway, northbound, north of exit 144 in Newark. You could stay on that shot, Pam. I'll just reference another crash just a couple of miles away. It's on the Garden State northbound, south of 148, JFK Jr. north in Bloomfield with the right lane block. So it's, I think, a lot of people not seeing the cars stopping in front of them, damp roadways, slamming the brakes, they get into a little fender bender. Nothing major, but nonetheless causing delays. We have an issue now on I-4, excuse me, 295. Let's go to 295. It is southbound north of exit 28, which is Route 168, Black Horse Pike in Hatton Heights. The right shoulder is closed. So as they make their way around the bend, you can kind of see they slow down. This is just beyond this point around the bend. There isn't a closer camera, but nonetheless, that is happening. We have a crash on Route 29 southbound Calhoun Street in Trenton. The right lane is closed there. And we have an overturned truck on Route 46 westbound by Route 93 Palisades Park. The right lane is closed on that. Now we have reported delays on Route 3 westbound from the Garden State Parkway to Route 46 in Clifton. All lanes are open. That's just, that's years ago. That's where the merge of 43 and 6, that always had an issue. I'm wondering what that's about. Usually westbound at this hour, we don't have that issue, but we do. The approaches to the Hudson River, now the Holland Tunnel is only 20 minutes across. Lincoln is 30. GWB upper and lower has actually been relatively light, and it still is all morning long. Look at that. So it's a good way to get into Manhattan, only 15 minutes over. 8:06 is our time, and we continue to follow the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, which made landfall in Jamaica just 2 weeks ago. Relief efforts are underway across the island. Technology is playing a crucial role in helping communities recover. Ed Wattle is co-founder of World Digital Governance and founder of Intellibus, an IT strategy. We don't have Ed. All right, so let's go to A if we could. I saw somebody on the screen there. Excuse me. All right, that's okay. So, anyway, for those following the Senate, we've had the shutdown of our government now for months. It has been over a month. It's been 5 weeks, and there was no need for it, as we find out. So, after 40 days of deadlock, the Senate has finally approved a deal to end the longest U.S. government shutdown in history. 8 Democrats and independents joined Republicans to advance the measure. The deal funds the government through January, including worker back pay, so they will get paid for the time they did not work. There's also SNAP benefits covered till next September, so we don't have to worry about the SNAP benefits come January when we vote on stuff again. Democrats gained a promise for a December vote on extending expiring health care subsidies. So to explain that, during the pandemic, the Biden administration gave health care subsidies to the tune of nearly $1 trillion. You hear me? Nearly $1 trillion in order to fund Obamacare subsidies. So that money went right from your pocket and mine into the pockets of the insurance companies. Crazy. The Democrats wrote that law, and the Democrats built in an expiration of a month ago. They wrote it. They built it in. They had enough votes to pass it without Republicans, and they did. So it passed. Now it's expired, and this is why the Democrats were screaming. They wanted the Republicans to put extensions back in. They're the ones who wrote it. They're the ones that made a sunset, and now they want the Republicans to put something back in that is costing us way too much money anyway. That's why there's the big standoff, and that's why, by the way, Republicans are saying in that bill there are provisions that would allow everybody. It doesn't specify you have to be a citizen. So illegal aliens would have gotten billions of healthcare dollars. The bill that has now passed does not have that. They're going to vote on that addition come December. But the bill that has now passed faces a vote in the House. It would open the government again. It may not happen till the end of the week. Many far-left Democrats like AOC are complaining that Senator Schumer caved into the GOP. It confirms what we have been saying all along. The shutdown was the fault of Chuck Schumer and the Democrats from the beginning. Because what was offered 5 weeks ago, a clean continuing resolution, is what ultimately those few Democrats came across the aisle and accepted. So all that time, the shutdown of the government, the air traffic controller, the canceled flights, the people who had to spend money on a hotel because they got stuck in a city because their flight was canceled. That's money they'll never get back. And that's all because of Democrats who decided to hold up on the extension of a continuing resolution. All it would have done was taken the spending plan that Democrats created, voted on, and passed under Biden and extended it 4 more weeks until we could get together under an open government and decide on a new budget. They wouldn't do that. So now you have people who didn't get SNAP, people who are relying on that for food. You had people stuck at airports around the country. You have TSA agents who didn't come to work. You have federal employees. You have military members. All these people who got screwed for 5 weeks because the Democrats are trying to make a point, and it didn't work. It backfired after all. So now it's a big. Even Chuck Schumer realized at the end this was unnecessary and shouldn't have been done. So that's why they caved, if you will, but they should have caved 5 weeks ago. And now AOC, being the brat that she is complaining about it, and she wants him primaried, basically. She wants him out. You have Ilhan Omar demanding that Chuck Schumer go bye-bye. Kind of interesting. In terms of flight delays, the ongoing Schumer Democrat government shutdown, and it is continuing because the government hasn't reopened yet. It's on the way to doing so. The shutdown continues to cause staffing shortages in air traffic control and TSA staffing. Many flights have been delayed or canceled. The airlines warn disruptions may continue even after the shutdown ends. Could take weeks to get things back to normal. So the FAA has ordered reductions in the number of flights. As of today, it's now 6% reduction due to staffing shortfalls. Travelers at major hubs like Newark are facing big delays and cancellations. Newark is right at the top, the longest red mark there, cancellations and delays. Meanwhile, President Trump ordered all air traffic controllers to be back to work immediately. He called controllers patriots who never did take a day off during the shutdown and said those who took sick leave in the last 5 weeks could face disciplinary action. And to drive home his point, Trump said controllers who performed above and beyond during the shutdown, those who never took a day off, could be eligible to receive $10,000 bonuses, while those who didn't show up would get marks on their records. So, you know what? You do the right thing and you get rewarded, and you do the wrong thing and you get slapped on the butt. So, just a little reminder that maybe you should have shown up for work. Air traffic controllers are not just anybody, if you will. Air traffic controllers are not allowed to strike. They're essential government employees. They're not supposed to strike and take days off. It is what it is. It is currently 37 degrees northern New Jersey, 33 degrees in Trenton. When we come back, a new study is challenging about how we think of obesity. We'll talk about that. Partly sunny this morning, mostly cloudy later, maybe some snow showers. We've had them throughout northern New Jersey all morning. It'll be very windy, highs low 40s. The wind will make it feel colder than that. Full Garden State forecast when we return. We'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching my New Jersey Mornings. Be right back.
Hey, New Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose through volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, 8:15, taking calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. Partly sunny this morning. We already had some snow squalls throughout much of northern New Jersey today, ranging from west to east, depending on where you were. Mostly cloudy later, slight chance of a snow shower through the day. Very windy, highs low 40s. The wind will make it feel colder than that. Meteorologist Mike Favetta will explain that this isn't going
Mhm.
away anytime soon.
No, we get another round of snow showers this afternoon, and I even found some accumulation on the deck this morning, just a trace of snow. I'll show you that picture coming up, but this is what it looked like from the radar picture through northern sections of Morris County, driving eastward out over toward Essex County, and even another one there right by Union City, Jersey City, and the Palisades, as some of those snow showers just a few minutes ago, working on by through northern New Jersey. Even had another one right by 46 in Mount Olive, headed down through Bedminster across 206 in the last hour. So if you're driving around this morning, saw some snow flurries, yep, that was the case. There will be another round that comes through in the next few hours, right through the middle of the day, allowing for that chill to settle in, because temperatures don't go anywhere. We stay in the upper 30s and low 40s today. The wind chill this afternoon, typically the warmest part of the day around 3 p.m., 33 is how it will feel in Flemington, 35 in Hackensack, and in the 20s later on this evening. So another round of very cold weather. You see that light shade of blue taking over. That's the low 20s and teens that'll feel like tomorrow morning. Another round of cold weather again for Thursday, and the cold continues going into Friday. Not much relief with that 19 degrees in Flemington waking up on Friday morning. By the weekend, maybe we're back in the 50s, but it's a brief warm up before we're right back into the chill right through the weekend. Here are those snowflakes and flurries coming down, kind of getting enhanced by the unfrozen lakes working across the Northeast. So that's why we have the flurries today, and then the clouds for the rest of the week. We'll see some breaks at times, but overall it's going to be a pretty gray looking week ahead. There will be some more sunshine on Saturday with a return to some showers, and 55 degrees on Sunday. So a really chilly week. I'll show you the accumulation coming up and how what fell was actually rimed ice or grapple. It looks a little bit different. It's like a squishy snow pellet or soft hail, as it's called in the meteorology world. I'll explain with the photo coming up in the next weather segment.
Squishy, that's an official term. I learned that
Squishy,
in
yeah.
my one semester of meteorology I had to study at NYU. They said squishy. They actually told us about snane, stuff like that. You guys are nuts. I'm just saying. You are.
Okay.
But we love you. We love our meteorologists. And unless the forecast is totally off, then we say words that we shouldn't repeat on air.
Ah, mm,
Like it's your fault. Mike,
right.
thank you very much, sir. We'll check back with you in a little bit. It is 36 degrees northern New Jersey, 33 in Trenton, and it's 31 now in Vineland. In terms of traffic, let's go over to Route 46 at the New Jersey Turnpike. Take a look at this. There is yep, can we still see it? Sorry about the bounce. See that ambulance right at the bottom in the middle? Ambulance and the emergency vehicle behind. There was an overturned truck, and they've been working on that. That's the closest camera we have. And you can see it's really bouncy from the wind. We have 30, 40 mile an hour gusts in some cases, especially up high where those cameras are. So just avoid that area. This is this is Palisades Park, right lane closed, overturned truck, 46 westbound at 93 in that area. Just beware of that. We have delays on Route 208 southbound from Goffey Road and Hawthorne to Maple Avenue, Fairlawn. All lanes are open, but things are heavy there. And I don't know if, Pam, you were able to get over to the Garden State Parkway. It's northbound at exit 144, Route 510 in Newark. Again, that's northbound exit 144. Route 510 in Newark, the right lane is blocked. If we don't have it, that's okay. This is Garden State Parkway northbound. In terms of the Hudson River crossings, there we go. She has it. She's amazing. That's Pam. So that is what we're talking about right there. That is Route 510 in Newark. There's a crash there. This is northbound at exit 144. Just beware of that. It's causing some major rubbernecking on both sides of the highway. And in terms of the Hudson River crossings now, the Holland Tunnel is reporting 25 minutes across. The Lincoln is 25 to 30. GWB has been a good ride. It's your best bet all day long. Upper and lower levels both moving very well. Pretty much empty. 15 minutes into Manhattan that way. 8:20 right now, and a new study challenging how we think about obesity. And this study could affect millions of Americans. It was published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA. The research suggests the traditional BMI, the body mass index, is kind of antiquated. It may no longer be the best way to determine or define obesity. Instead, it proposes an approach that includes other body measurements. Visceral fat is so much more important, as we're finding out. Under this new definition, nearly 70% of American adults could now qualify as being obese or having obesity. And that is quite the jump from the current number of 43%. Well, Dr. Jeffrey Kraft is an expert in bariatric and metabolic health at Hackensack University Medical Center. He joins us this morning. Dr. Kraft, good to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
And let me just say for the record, I am a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass patient from 2003 and a GLP-1 patient since the last year. So I've been on it all. And I've gone from 360 to 180 so I'm literally half my former weight. So I understand your language, and I love the fact that we have you on. What
Very
makes this
nice,
study?
Ken. You did very well.
Well, thanks to people like you. Thank God.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I may not even be here at 58. I was very obese at 20. What makes this new study so significant, Dr. Kraft?
Well, it really speaks to something we all know in my profession for a while now, which is that central obesity, having fat essentially around your abdomen or torso region is really what links your weight to your health problems or potential health problems. So things like sleep apnea, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, essentially lumped into something called metabolic disorder. That's basically when surgery or medicines is really going to help you prevent medical problems or get rid of medical problems you already have. So we've known this for a while. Body mass index obviously has some controversy associated with it in the media. One way of putting it is, Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was huge, doing tons of lifting, he qualified as morbidly obese, but that is muscle weight, of course. And, having a lot of fat around your abdomen region really predisposes you to a lot of medical problems. So that's much more relevant than just your weight to height ratio.
Yeah, so we talk about visceral fat. Talk about what that is and why that is such an important factor. Is visceral fat the fat between the organs?
Yeah, so everyone has some amount of fat between their organs. That's necessary for normal function. But having excessive amounts of that, things like fatty liver disease, we have this sheet of protective fat in our abdomen called the omentum. Anyone who does surgery in the abdomen knows that that can be massive in some people. And it basically produces, to simplify it, a ton of hormones that really are not good for us. So, fatty liver disease, at least 1 out of 3 Americans has that. That basically creates like a congestive, like blood flow in your abdomen. So everything starts to not work so good, and that adds up over years to decades and creates a lot of medical problems.
And for people that don't realize, you could be overtly thin, right? You could be a non-drinker, non-smoker, and have fatty liver disease. Am I correct?
100%. In fact, fatty liver disease is kind of an interesting name because it does build up fat in your liver, and it literally can create cirrhosis even a non-drinker, and it is becoming a leading cause of cirrhosis. But it's actually due to too much consumption of carbohydrates and sugar. It actually has nothing to do with the consumption of fatty foods.
All those people people like me who've been saying, they eat all those sweets and they never gain an ounce. Technically,
Yeah.
they may have been gaining a lot because you store a certain amount of carbs overnight, and I know in your
Yeah.
liver for use when you wake up. Doesn't that help? Doesn't it get released as you're waking up to help bring you awake? Isn't
Yes.
that
Yes.
the surge comes from your liver?
Exactly. Anyone who played football or wrestling, when I played football, they'd always encourage us to have a big bowl of pasta the night before. You want to create this essentially reserve of energy in your liver, and that's why your liver stores essentially sugars for you to use when you're exercising excessively. What happens when you're not exercising and consuming way too many carbs and sugars is that that just builds up to a point where it becomes pathologic and it really creates a lot of problems.
Fascinating. So now if obesity is now redefined to include the waist measurements you were talking about, how does that affect, say, people from being eligible to get weight loss medications like we have Wegovy, Ozempic rather, I almost said Olympic, Ozempic and Zepbound. How does that impact whether they'll be eligible to get that?
Well, right now, usually the insurance companies are the last to change their policies, but there's been a movement in the metabolic surgery field for quite a long time to lower those requirements because we do see health problems come up from a BMI between 30 and 35, which currently most insurances don't qualify you for surgery or well, at least surgery. Some medicines, of course, but we do see people have sleep apnea at a body mass index of 32, and they're far away from qualifying for surgery. So if you start to lower those requirements, this is classic preventative medicine. This is what we're supposed to be doing in this country. When I was in medical school at Drexel many years ago, they were saying that the push in America should be to preventative medicine, right? If we stop the progress of these diseases before people are, let's say, on insulin, you can do a lot of good for patients. Not only the medical problems, but quality of life. I mean, anyone who's lost a substantial amount of weight can tell you that they just feel better all day. They wake up feeling better. They sleep better. You can sleep 6 hours and feel, when you're thin, and feel like you slept 12 hours when you're overweight. So it's a lot of little things that really aren't what people realize until they do this, like yourself. You feel better than you did before.
Yeah, Doc, I went from high cholesterol, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, on and on and on, borderline diabetic. It's all gone. It's all gone.
Yeah,
Feel like $1 million. And metabolically, my doctor said I just shaved like 10 years, or added, I should say, 10 years to my life because of it. And it's just, you're right.
for sure.
Even arthritis and all doesn't hurt as much because of it.
Yeah.
We got about 10 seconds left. I just want to quickly ask, do you think that surgery is going to become a thing of the past with the new GLP-1s?
No, I do not. I think the medicines will have their limit, and people will come back to see us and explore surgery. We see that already.
It does work. I could speak from experience. Doctor, thank you so much. You are the expert at Hackensack University Medical Center, Dr. Jeffrey Kraft. We appreciate you coming
Thank
on
you,
today.
Ken. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll be back in 2.
Hey, New Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose through volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Very good morning to you. The time now is 8:30. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. 36 degrees in northern New Jersey, 33 degrees right now in Trenton. We even saw some snow squalls this morning already and may see some more through the day. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta telling us all about the blustery Garden State forecast. Good morning to you, Mike.
Good morning, Ken. I've got the obligatory deck photo because that's always the photo that you see after a little snow event. People look out, take the photo, snap it from the backyard. And yeah, there were some snow grains on the deck. Some snowflakes, but primarily snow grains, also known as rimed ice, also known as grapple. What is grapple? No, it's not scrapple, that dish from Dutch Pennsylvania. It's actually a little bit of a raindrop as it lofts into the cloud due to some of those winds, allowing that cloud droplet to reach the freezing line and go a little bit higher into the top of the cloud. These little super cool droplets form the hexagonal shape with the 6 points that you would know of a snowflake, but instead you get these little droplets of clouds that form and create this rimed ice and helps that ice particle drop to the ground as grapple. So it increases the weight and falls and kind of bounces. That's why you can kind of squish them between your fingers. They almost look like a little styrofoam pellet if you were to pick one up, and they're very small in size, but they bounce a little bit as they fall. That's why some people call it hail. You could call it soft hail. That's kind of the colloquial name that meteorologists use. Actual hail is formed very differently. Our forecast for New Jersey points to a blustery, a breezy, and a chilly day. And we're not done with the snow flurries and the grapple just yet. We have another round coming through northern New Jersey later today. Best chance of seeing that break of sun is across southern New Jersey, where highs still struggling to make it to our average of 57 degrees. So there go the few snow bursts from earlier this morning. More are on the way. They're working through northeastern Pennsylvania right now and will likely be across northern New Jersey later on this morning into the early afternoon. You can see them here on the Futurecast, those shades of blue and green moving across primarily portions north of Route 80, maybe even north of Route 78, as they cross the northern section of the state today. Later on tonight, it gets cold again. It stays chilly and breezy throughout the day tomorrow. Better chance of seeing more sun throughout the rest of the week, but overall a chilly feeling ahead as all of these snow showers work their way through. We're pretty quiet for tomorrow, maybe another passing flurry burst by the end of the day, but it's another round of cold weather that comes in for Thursday and Friday that lets the cold dig its heels in and makes it feel quite chilly for the first half of the weekend, where we see a little bit of a warm up briefly on Saturday. It doesn't last very long. So with highs not even making it to the 50s most days, all likely holding in the 30s each afternoon. Saturday we make it to 47, briefly warming on Sunday to 55, and then have a few showers around. I think we're dry down the shore. This is the forecast for the shore points, making it to 60 by Sunday afternoon, but still no real prolonged warmth. We're kind of in for the rest of the chilly half of fall as we kind of wrap up fall with already a few rounds of snow, Ken, to start off the week.
I just texted my doctor to up my prescription of Xanax because of the snow squall. I'm just saying I just can't deal with it. I'm sorry. All right, maybe I'm kidding, but maybe I'm not. Think about it. All right, Mike. Thank you very much, bud. We'll check back with you. I am kidding. 36 degrees right now, northern New Jersey. 33 in Trenton. In terms of traffic, let's see. Do we have the Garden State Parkway, Pam? We have a crash on the Garden State Parkway northbound, north of exit 144, which is Route 510 Newark. The right lane, it just opened. Literally, what, 30 seconds ago, Pam? Right? They had the cops were there, right there on the right by that little pull off. All right, well, that's a good thing. So I will cross that off the list. We have a crash on 295 northbound at exit 65, Sloan Avenue, Hamilton Township, with the right shoulder closed, and a crash on Route 34 northbound by Phalanx Road in Colts Neck. The right shoulder's closed through there. The Hudson River crossings, the Holland Tunnel is a good deal. It's only 20 minutes, 25 now at the Lincoln, and the GWB has been behaving. Look at that. Sunshine, everything's flowing, only 10 to 15 minutes in. That's one of the best. That's like a Sunday morning. GWB into Manhattan. Take advantage of it as you can. But as Mike said, we might get another snow squall in the next hour or so. So just beware of that. No accumulations, just something that might make you go, ooh. 8:35 right now. And women over 50 are rewriting the script on what it means to age. Jacqueline Perez is founder and CEO of Cool Life, a digital platform for women, and we welcome her this morning. Good morning to you, Jacqueline.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you for hosting me today.
You tell us what inspired you to create Cool Life.
Oh, well, I'm going to be honest. It was a completely self serving mission. I went through that natural process that every other human goes through, and it's called menopause. And I get that a lot of women sail through with, not any problems. Unfortunately, or in this case, fortunately, it hit me like a tractor trailer. And I mean, you name the symptom, Ken, I probably had it. At one point in time, I weighed what I weighed the day I delivered my baby. You know those
Wow.
Shar puppies with the back fat? That's like you could
Yeah.
pick me up by my back fat. And while it's attractive on puppies, not so attractive on me. And I needed to solve it for myself. And when I went through the process, what I realized is I'm not that special. There has to be other women out there who are also suffering through this very natural process. And I decided I needed to do something to be part of the sea change. And I wanted to bring information to women because I believe information is power. And of course, this happened about 5 or 6 years ago. We've made a lot of progress. There is a lot more information on menopause and there are a lot more solutions for women, which I'm thrilled, but we still have a long way to go. And I'm just thrilled to be part of it.
Let me ask you, Jacqueline, did you experience any symptoms and just didn't realize they were symptoms? Like, did you have perimenopause? Because a lot of people, as a man, we're dopes about this. We just know we say, oh, whoa, she's in a bad mood because we're idiots, not realizing what you're going through, and it must be awful. My mother has talked about it, and as not only am I a man but a gay man, so we don't, it's difficult because we don't have the direct experience. But my mother talked about how awful it was, and you still have to go about your life, and you still have your family, and you still have your career, and you still have to keep going. That has got to be just awful for you as a human being to be going through.
Well, here's the deal. Perimenopause can start as early as late 30s, early 40s. And now in hindsight, I understand what I was going through at the time. But at the time, I just attributed it to I had a baby later in life and I was a martial artist. So I was training really hard and I was raising a small child as a single mom. And I also ran my own business. And I attributed all of those symptoms, not being able to sleep, anxiety. It got so bad that I got to the point where I had a hard time finding joy. And I'm a glass 3/4 full kind of woman.
Mhm.
So yes, but don't feel like an idiot because I was an idiot. It was happening to me and I didn't understand it because we just didn't have the information.
Yeah, and that's why it's so wonderful that now you have this site so that women can get together and exchange what they're going through and exchange. Oh, when I maybe talk about what their doctor told them, et cetera. This is a perfect thing for that. And women over 50 are one of the fastest growing groups of entrepreneurs in America. Why is that specifically?
Oh, it's so exciting. It's such an exciting time for women. Ken, this is the largest cohort of women over 50, and not only in numbers, but we happen to be the healthiest, the wealthiest, the most educated, and the most experienced. You tie that with the diminishing needs of caregiving responsibilities, because whether you wanted to have a kid or not, and you had one, probably you're experiencing this empty nest thing. They're leaving the home. Add to that a lot of women are exiting corporate America after 50, and then sadly, we lose our parents. Women are facing an entire new lifespan, 30, 40 years of health, and they can't wait to give back to the world and leave a bigger legacy than ever before. And you can see it in the numbers. I mean, Wells Fargo recently did a study where I think it's 40% of businesses in the US are owned by women.
Mhm.
It's an exciting time.
And they're all different types of businesses from small to large and in every aspect. I read a lot of the business journals and it's amazing to see and it's good to see. It just creates all these wonderful opportunities. for women with so much talent that where it hasn't been experienced or expressed, rather, through corporate means, if you will. How have your experiences shaped what it means to be a visible person over 50?
Well, as I mentioned, menopause came gunning for me, and I realized that because of that, I started to play small, and I started to become invisible. And yes, ageism is a real thing, and it crosses genders. I mean, it doesn't. Ageism happens to men and women, but part of it for women is how do you feel inside, and if you lose who you are, it gets tough to show up large and proud. And so for me, solving the physiological issues that came allowed me to find not just my body, but my spirit again. And, I have to tell any woman going through this process, if you are suffering, I promise, do the work, figure it out, because the best part of life is on the other side of menopause, of going through that phase. I love my life. This is definitely the best part of my life.
And we're now finding out, in fact, as recently as yesterday and today, that the treatments, I guess, using estrogen, I guess in the year 2000 or so, if I got this straight, it was warned that, oh, there are increases in your chance of having cancer if you take these supplements when you are going through menopause. Now, turns out that was totally overblown from a bad study. So all these years, a lot of women have been suffering with the withdrawal of estrogen through menopause when they didn't have to be. So that's interesting. Hopefully now we'll see maybe a slight easing in the suffering you're going through. With about 30 seconds left, tell us the web address for Cool Life. How can people find it?
So it is spelled, it's Cool Life, but I spell it, it's all cattywampus. I spell it with a K. So it's KUEL life, life.com. And I literally have hundreds of thought leaders from around the world who are currently helping women in the myriad of opportunities and challenges that present themselves during this time in life. And the information is out there. It's free.
Love
Go
it.
get it. Go learn about it.
And don't suffer like so many have had to suffer for so many years. It's just ridiculous that society was set up that way, and it should never have been. Jacqueline Perez, founder and CEO of the digital platform for women, Cool Life. Thank you for joining us. Please come back again.
Thank you, Ken.
You bet. It is now 8:42, and we have a temp of 36 degrees, maybe a snow squall. So look out for that. We'll be right back.
Hey, New Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose through volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings for your Tuesday, 8:45. I'm Ken Rosato. We'll take calls at 888-658-0234. Partly sunny this morning, maybe a snow squall, though. We had a couple earlier already. Yeah, in fact, let's see. Pam, let's get wacky. Let's show the snow squall. You could show either mine or Mike's. I like mine's is better. Ha! That was mine. That was this morning at about 6:45. Mike is laughing right now. It's got like ding 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 dueling snow squall video. Um, we'll let Mike show his own. How about that? So we go to straight. There's Mike's. Look at that. See, Pam? So the two children don't squabble. We show both their videos. We should let them call in and vote on whose video has more snow. 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta. I'm just teasing you, buddy.
I
So
know, I know.
we could see another one of these this morning or through the day anywhere, right? New Jersey.
Yeah, there's already one developing across northeastern Pennsylvania, about to cross the Delaware. So be on the lookout for more snow squalls later on this morning into the midday. There's certainly plenty of energy to allow for more flurry bursts there in northern New Jersey. And the cold air, that's the other ingredient. We have plenty of that with temperatures that felt like the 20s waking up this morning. Actual air temperatures climb into the upper 30s by day's end. So yeah, with all of the chilly weather around, any of the warmth you see over the next 2 weeks is really off to the western half of the U.S., with most of the rain chances being a little bit higher, slightly higher than average precip chances. With all of the cold weather, could mean more possibility for more potential snow down the road. But until then, we'll just look forward to some breaks of sunshine each day. Still a fair amount of clouds as highs struggle to get into the 50s. We'll be in the 40s most of the mornings into the early afternoons. Back down around freezing this weekend with a high of 55 on Sunday. That's all the warmth we can get out of here, even on Sunday down the shore, making it up to 60. So plenty of cool weather around. Slightly below average this week, about 5 degrees cooler than where we should be. But with the snow this morning, it kind of sets the stage that, the season has changed and we are in the thick of fall heading into the rest of November, Ken.
Mike. And here, I'll say this to Pam on the air. I'm sorry, we're doing live traffic as we're talking to you, Mike. I should mention 36 degrees in northern New Jersey, and we have 34 degrees in Trenton. Thank you, Mike, so much. And we'll catch Mike in the morning. I'm going to ask Pam to go live on air here. If you go to Route 46, Pam, at Green Street. Route 46 at Green Street. You'll see what we're talking about. So this is, there you go. Look at that. The camera is providing. So this mess you're looking at right now, this is because of an, let's see, we have a crash with injuries. So this is in the North, yeah. So this is in the area of Teterboro. 2 left lanes of the 3 lanes closed. Actually, it looks like all the lanes are now closed. Yeah, that looks like all the lanes are closed. Nope, the 2 left. You could see they're making them squeeze over on the right. Okay, so that's what you got. Oh, they're getting up. Pam is telling me, thank you, Pam, for that. So they're making you get off. So that is what you were looking at. That's a live shot. And what you are looking at, that's in Teterboro, Route 46, crash with injuries westbound, east of Route 17. The lanes are now all closed. They're making everybody exit off. Obviously, they think that's a serious enough accident. When they take you off, that means it was a very serious accident. Police want to do an investigation. So that's what that's about. So this is happening live at 8:49 in the morning. That means that if you are headed on Route 46 westbound by Route 17, you just find another way. That's going to be an investigation, I guarantee you, for like the next hour or so. Pam, do we have our interview? I think we do. So we're going to do that in just a second. We also have delays right now, Route 24. This is eastbound by 287 in Hanover Township. All lanes open, but you got about a mile stretch of delays there. And we now have a crash on 1 and 9 truck route northbound, Pulaski Skyway in Newark. The left lane is closed. We don't have a camera shot for that yet, but that's going to be a mess. Hudson River crossings are great today. Lincoln Tunnel's about 20 now. The Holland's only 15. Same thing with the GWB. Upper and lower levels have been moving just beautifully all morning long. Look at that, wide open. I don't think we've ever had an entire morning where that's been the case. Only 15 minutes into Manhattan on the GWB. All right. So right now we have this is Veterans Day for those that don't realize. So please thank a veteran wherever you are and whatever you do today. And remember, I mean, I'm wearing the red, white, and blue. So remember our veterans and say thank you to a potential veteran in your life. Special day that it is. Adina Bio is a successful restaurateur and real estate developer known for her visionary work, bringing food, housing, community all together to drive meaningful change. She's also made history as the first Black woman in New Jersey to receive the state's 9% low income housing tax credit. That is a major thing. I had to look it up myself to see what that was. We'll explain that in a moment. It's opening doors for more inclusive development all across the region. I got goosebumps reading what this woman has accomplished, and we bring her on right now. Adina, good morning to you and welcome.
Good
I can't
morning. Thanks for having me.
I can't believe, like, when I look at all you have done, I don't know how it's like I was thinking to myself last night, talking to myself, which is strange that I do that, Adina. I was saying the average person like would say, I'm hungry, I'm going to go to a restaurant. Adina says, I'm hungry, I'm going to build a restaurant. That's why you are a successful entrepreneur and business person, and I am not. I love the fact that you have done so much. And we're talking real estate, restaurants. You own IHOPs. You
Yes,
own a vegan restaurant, right? Talk
yes.
about what you have done and how you got there, please.
Thanks for having me. First, I want to say Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans that have served this country for us. Today at IHOP, we are giving away free meals to our veterans.
Oh, that's
So come, if
phenomenal.
you're a veteran, have your red, white, and blue pancake free on us. So,
IHOP has red, white, and blue in your logo. Your logo is red, white, and blue too. I know that.
yes.
I'm an IHOP fan. I'm wearing the red, white, and blue today. My blue, white. It's hard to tell this is blue on camera, but it's blue. So you have like 10 IHOPs. Am I correct?
So we have all inclusive. We have three IHOPs right now. We
Three.
have four cornbreads. We have two Brick City vegans, and we have two IHOP under construction. I mean, two cornbread under construction and IHOP under development.
I love it. And cornbread is a soul food restaurant, right?
Yes, cornbread is our signature farm to soul, farm to table, but we say farm to soul food restaurant that really focus on ingredients and making sure the food that we eat becomes a nourishment to our body. So,
Which
and we
is
were
awesome.
just voted in Brooklyn the best, speaking of nourishing our body, the best fried chicken in New York City this summer.
Nice. But it's okay to balance. You could listen, that's you just named my favorite dish on the planet, fried chicken. You could my
Yeah,
grandmother used to make fried chicken like she was doing it. It's funny because she is from Italy, but they did their own version of it that was totally different. But it like they used to use breadcrumbs with it, but it like my mouth's watering thinking about it. There is nothing wrong with that as long as you balance it and you don't have it every day, right? There is nothing wrong with that. That's what makes it special. Make it the special thing to eat.
absolutely. And speaking of another special thing, on Thursday this week, we're having our third annual community dinner at our IHOP on Bergen Street. We're going to close the restaurant down between 6 and 9 p.m. We're going to serve the community a Thanksgiving dinner. We're going to have people reading to kids, giving out presents to kids. It's a event that draw out a huge amount of people from the community, and especially with people right now having to worry, am I getting SNAP? Am I not getting SNAP? We want you guys to come and have a meal with us, and let's gather as a community. Let's remind ourselves that we can get through anything as a community. So join us this Thursday at 109 Bergen Street in Newark.
See, this is why, again, you see, this is, you just gave the example of why you are successful because your mind is going 24 hours a day. I'm going to ask you for real, how many hours a night do you even sleep?
Oh my God, a good night for me is 4 or 5 hours.
There you go. The most, because I asked that seriously because I know I've interviewed when I was at ABC, I used to interview a lot of very successful business people, and you are part of that club of successful business people, none of whom sleep more
Oh,
than 4 or 5 hours. That's about it. Even Trump, he sleeps like 2 or 3 hours a night. I know who's the Silverstein, the guy that owns the World Trade Center. He only sleeps a couple hours a night. It's because your mind is constantly thinking,
Yeah.
and that's why you're so successful. I believe it's inspiration from above. I believe in God, and I believe that the Holy Spirit's working through you
I
and
do
making that
believe in
happen.
God, and I do
Amen.
believe there is a spiritual component to being successful. And
Yep.
especially in this time where we do have to say, we need spiritual, we need to be connected to a higher calling to do this the way it needs to be done. To know that
Amazing.
we are responsible for our neighbors, to know that you have a social responsibility. And when your social responsibility is your currency, you don't have to worry about any market climate. You will always survive.
Amen.
And I think
And
you asked what have made me successful. I think
uh-huh.
social responsibility is the pillar in which I run my businesses on.
And you will be blessed on the backside automatically. It just happens when you do the right thing. Talk about
Yeah.
what this 9% state low-income housing tax credit is and why it's such a big milestone and how it opens the doors for inclusive development.
So, right now there's this big conversation happening about affordability, affordability. Everyone mind is working. How do we make housing more affordable? So, the low income housing tax credit is a program ran by the state of New Jersey, New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency. And every year, developers compete heavily for these federal tax credit to be able to build homes and give a discount on the rent in exchange for tax credits. So allow individuals that are in communities that are making, call you $75,000 a year, but should not spend no more than 45% of that $75,000 towards housing. And it's not free housing, it's not a handout to people. These are working class people that just haven't been able to keep up with the rising cost of housing in the city of New Jersey. So you have
Mhm.
teachers, you have firefighters, you have cops, you have first time college graduates that all benefits from affordable housing. So
Dina, I gotta cut you only because the show is over. Right now, we're coming up on 30 seconds.
yes,
IHOP's soul food restaurant, cornbread, plant-based eatery, Brick City Vegan, and now a real estate developer. Total inspiration, Adina Bayo. We're gonna have you back on the show. You make New Jersey a great place.
thank
Thank you for
you.
coming on.
Thank
God
you.
bless
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for having me. I love
Thank
you.
you. I love you back. Thank you. What an inspiration. Thank you for watching on New Jersey Mornings. We'll catch you again tomorrow. Happy Veterans Day. Love a vet. Have a good day.